Just got done. Slow day today. Got done with this customer's truck. 2016 F-150. I'm gonna pull it outside real quick. We got her fixed. I'm gonna show you what the problem was when I get it outside. I teach people all the time. I preach to them all the time with the Super Duties and the F-150s. And it's like in one ear and out the other. And then they ask me questions like, oh, what do you do when this happens? Or what do you do when that happens? And I have to explain to them over and over and over. Let me switch to the Wi-Fi. Switch to the Wi-Fi real quick, because it's probably real shaky. Alright. Anyway, I preach to people all the time about the Super Duties and the F-150s. Corrosion at the rear connector, at the bumper, is the #1 problem with the tailgates, F-150s and Super Duties, all the time, no matter what. It's the first thing you want to check all the time, is the two connectors on the frame and then the lead connector going into the tailgate on the F-150s and the Super Duties. Is a major problem. Same with this guy. He thought it was going to be some kind of serious issue. I think he's a firefighter. He's got to be able to get into the bed of his truck in an emergency. And he said, I went to go open it the other day and I had nothing. I couldn't get able to use his truck for emergency purposes. And he said it won't open. Sure enough, I take the key and I'm trying to unlock it. It won't unlock. It won't do anything. It won't function back there. Luckily, within an hour, I was able to fix it because I've had so much time on these F-150s and Super Duties for the same problem that it should be a preventative. This is a new preventative measure I want you guys to start doing. I 100% want you to start doing this. Those of you that rely on me for maintenance stuff and rely on me to help you and come up with ways to fix and alleviate problems, this is a step you need to be doing almost every single month. Check at least once a month from now on. Like Bible, do it. And I'm going to start implementing this tonight while we're on A-Rod's Power Stroke Tech Talk with A-Rod. Tonight I'm going to bring this up again, and we'll talk about it when everybody's on, just so people are informed about the situation. And if I have to beat it into people's heads to stop them from having to go through this, so they're not paying hours of diagnostics, because you're going to go to another shop or another technician and they're going to fail you. Well, they're not going to fail you. They're not going to know. They don't see the volume of these trucks that we see every single day. If I flip this camera around, there's an F-150, there's an F-150, there's an F-250, there's an F-350, there's an Expedition, here's an Expedition, there's an F-150 there. That's all, every single day. That's all I deal with. So if I can save you guys time from going to a shop and having them charge you hours of diagnostics, charging you hours of trying to chase their tail because they're not used to this issue, then I'm going to do that. It needs to be a routine maintenance thing every month that you guys start to do. It's very important. I'm going to take you out here and show you exactly where I found the problem. What's going on, brother? Well, that was one problem you were having with your tailgate. This is a different problem, but that's like the #2 failure. #1 failure, you go up to a truck and you hit the unlock and it won't unlock. It's not unlocking the tailgate anymore. You're like, what the hell? And then these really nice leather covers like this that you don't want to destroy, some of them, if they're installed really tight, they have no play. You can't get inside here to get inside that without breaking this. Sometimes you'll end up breaking this little locking point on one side. You go up under the back of the tailgate right here and you look up. Right here, these two connectors on this frame horn coming down, and then this pass-through connector right here that goes up through the tailgate, unhook them, unlatch them, and use some CRC electrical cleaner and blow them out. There's corrosion. There was corrosion in this pin right here, and it has the main power pin that goes back to the lock assembly that ends up feeding this harness that then in turn goes up through tailgate right here. Hold on. It goes up through the tailgate right here. So I undid that, cleaned it out, there was corrosion in it. I undid this one, there was corrosion in it. And then that one right there, I undid it, there was one pin that was corroded. So after cleaning all those out with CRC contact cleaners, the green can CRC contact cleaner, I took a little bit of XG12 and I put it across the female side and plugged everything back in. The truck works like it's brand new. You know how many guys would have tried to diagnose that? You know how many guys would have spent hours trying to diagnose that and charge the customer $400 or $500 in diagnosis before they found it was just a simple connector issue back here? It would have been bad. And this is not even one of the electronic locking ones, or the electronic open ones. This is the one with a regular handle to it. So it's a simple fix if you know the system. If you don't know the system, you'll literally chase your tail trying to find problems like this, and they're a nightmare. The other problem with these is they get stuck. Let me open this up real quick. These get stuck. So you go to open this assembly here and they're really tight and they don't want to open. This goes for the Super Duties as well. You pull this back panel off here, and there's a mechanism underneath here with a thumb push on it, even on the electronic ones, that binds up, and it'll need to be sprayed or replaced. Or these latches on the outside here, they need to be sprayed every couple months. Spray them down with like white lithium grease. But inside here there's a mechanism that binds up, and if you start to lubricate it and move it back and forth, chances are you can free it up and you'll stop having to pull so hard to get it to open, and it'll stop fighting you. Or sometimes they'll quit working completely. But on these newer ones that have the automatic open, you'll have to replace that assembly. Those are the two major problems with F150s and Super Duties. Alright guys, well, it's going to be an early day for me because we don't have a lot of work. Nobody wants to come in. It's the same thing, man. The step handle doesn't have anything to do with the tailgate head opening, but the same process. Oh God, it's cold. Let's go through here real quick and I'll show you. This is Super Duty right here. Here's a step handle assembly. So step handle is here, right? And then you take that bolt, you'll take that out there and that out there. And then you grab this and the whole damn thing pops right down. And that's all that's holding that up. There's a couple quick tabs on the bottom, and then that 10 mil there and that 10 mil there. Even on the F150s, it's right behind the step. But if you pull this cover off, even with the step, you can see everything that's operating inside there. Everything inside here with this, like, I think it's T27s. Take all these T27s off and pull this panel up right here. You can see all the stuff inside there. You can actually push it and make sure it's not all bound up. It's as simple as that. Even so, let's just say we had that same problem with this truck right here. Let's say we had the same exact issue with this truck right here, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with that tailgate, what's going on with the backup camera, what's going on with the exterior light right there. All these things all come back to the same damn source, and I've been beating this into everybody's head all the time, and they set themselves up for failure because they're not listening. And then I see the same fix over and over and over and over and over again. Look under here. Bingo. Bing bong. Fuck my life. What do you think we got going on here? Here's the connections that come down from the rear. They end up feeding everything. They go back up through the tailgate. There's a harness right there. See a harness right up there? That goes through that hole, and then it cuts back into the tailgate. That's a pass-through connector right there. That's a pass-through harness. That's your number 3 reason. Say your connection here checks out fine. Your mechanism in the rear checks out fine. The next thing you check out is the pass-through harness right there. that pass-through harness that goes through that hole and then goes through the bottom of the tailgate, that's actually replaceable. You can disconnect it. Let's see. You can disconnect it down here inside this, and then you can see where the harness goes. It goes right here. Sometimes it gets chewed up at this connection point, or it'll get chewed up where it passes through. It's actually a replaceable harness. So you can unplug it and then replace this. If you gain anything from my channel, if you don't care about the manufacturer stuff and me rebuilding motors and going into transmissions and everything else and the craziness that I get myself involved in my own personal projects sometimes, the one reason you should be here on this channel is because this channel by far, hands down, is the best channel for maintenance that you will freaking find out there. Why? Am I a little biased? I am. But I preach maintenance, 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 and preventative, preventative, preventative all the time to you guys. And what do I keep coming back finding that I'm successful in every single time? Preventative. Every single situation that comes in where somebody failed or they need help, almost always spans back to preventative maintenance, and they do not do it. So if that's one thing that I've proved to you here on this channel over and over and over again, it's preventative maintenance will save 99.9% of your issues. People are just cheap. That's why. Question was, why do you think people want to cheap out on the cheap stuff rather than the expensive stuff? People are just downright cheap. They're oblivious. We live in a different time right now where people just don't want to think about stuff like that, and they think that they have a maintenance contract or they have a warranty that's going to cover everything. I got news for you right now. If I would have submitted that man's truck to his aftermarket warranty, even though he's got a premium aftermarket warranty, they would have laughed and said, ha, we're not covering stuff like that. That's not a failure, that's a maintenance type thing, or that's something outside of a hard failure. We're not covering that. That's something you're going to have to foot the bill for. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. I don't want this video to be too long. I just wanted to say, look at what we have. Might have to take it out, take it in for that harness piece. Yeah, we may have to. There's a lot of times guys come in here and the connectors are so rotten and so corroded there's no pins left in them, and I have to chop them off and hardwire the connectors in one wire at a time because you can't get connectors for them. Or I'll go back there and I'll actually find a connector that has the same amount of pins in it, and I'll wire each wire into a new female and male hard shell. And that's how I fix their problem. At least they have another connector. It may not match the OEM connector, but it's the same pins and it's done the same exact way. Yeah, so it's kind of tricky sometimes to get that harness out of there because it'll bind up in those center rib supports that go through that tailgate. It's stuck so tight because of the corrosion and stuff. And in every one of my videos, I can't cover every single little thing. And by me leaving out some things in the videos, it entices people to ask questions. So that's part of the reason why I make videos the way I do, is because I want the traffic. I want people to come here and get emotional with me and stuff like that. I want people to come here and say negative things so I can emotionally get involved with them so they can become somewhat connected even in a negative way, and then I can turn that into a positive way because of stuff like this. Because then I can help them for the rest of their life become more successful when they realize I'm not just some asshole out here trying to take advantage of them. I'm out here trying to save them. And if they start to listen, then we're better connected. So in that video, what you've seen was an extreme amount of corrosion. It was somebody torqued those wheels pretty tight, and when you have soft aluminum with a steel stud going through trying to draw everything together, and that soft aluminum has went soft and the steel bound up and it almost flares. It almost flares and locks the lug nut in, and then you got corrosion building up, and then salt on the road and stuff right now. It's a game changer when it comes to how corrosion and rust and everything starts to act. Bimetal corrosion, aluminum, steel, everything all together like that. We got salt on the roads in abundance right now. There's sheets of salt in patches. Like
that are falling off the bottom of my car. When I pulled my oil filter off the other night, there was a sheet of salt that encased the brand new filter I just put on there a few months ago. So, page 358 says you can use, yeah, you know, people in general just don't want to do research. They want people to spoon feed them everything. And to an extent, I can sympathize, but for the majority, I can't. I'm just to the point now where I just like telling people exactly how the hell I feel. One guy said, "Oh, you said he was cut." One of my videos is going viral right now. I've been watching it for days, and it's went from 75,000 views to like 125,000 views in 2 days now. So it's starting to pick up, and it's probably on the trending list now. It's one of my Marvel Mystery Oil, right? But I kept saying Mystery Marvel Oil, and I was new to the product. And people were so nasty to me in that comment section that they wanted to point out my fault over and over and over again. Instead of pointing out the commentary on the video and saying, "Hey, great job, thanks for showing us how this is working, can't wait for the follow-up video, you know, just want to let you know it's actually Marvel Mystery Oil. It's not Mystery Marvel Oil, and you keep saying Mystery Marvel Oil. It's Marvel Mystery Oil." And I was like, "Well, sue me, man. I make mistakes. It's my first time using the product. I apologize, whatever." At first I was saying sorry, but then more and more and more and more of these jerks showed up, and it was just being more and more facetious. I'm thinking to myself, how it affects people's life. How people love to get into that negativity instead of seeing some young guy out here, middle-aged guy out here, trying to help other people, trying to save them from having to go through the hardships that other people go through. And they would rather focus on attacking than saying, "Hey, look, I appreciate you. I just want you to know that you're saying the name wrong, but I'm sure in the future you're going to remember and you're going to get it the more you use the product." They don't do that. People are just shit people, man. They just live in misery. Ralph, okay, so before I say anything to you, why do you think that, Ralph? You think all these other people here think that I'm miserable, that know me, or are you just talking the first time since you seen me, and now you just want to spout off without saying anything? Because I can easily take care of you being here. It's not a problem, but I want to give you the chance to at least speak and defend yourself real quick before I boot yourself off the channel. When people judge before they know what's going on, or where they say things out of pocket because they think they can, I typically show them who the real boss is, real quick. I'm not angry, I just don't like stupid people. Hey, these people will. Well, we go ahead and just take care of Ralph now. Just be done with him. Just let him go. Yeah, I don't like stupid people. And anybody that says anything stupid or tries to direct my channel for me, they're typically the ones that I put right off the channel. Yeah, I got him. I took care of him. I give him the ban. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm going to roll on to the next job. I just wanted to do a quick video, and then some people started up with random questions. I appreciate you all. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. I will have a video on inspecting the vehicle with more lights and stuff like that. Y'all be blessed.